Doesn't the sky look lovely at night? See the stars shining brightly. And look how beautiful the moon is.
Oh yes, the moon is completely circular today.
This is called the full moon.
I never understand why the moon plays hide and seek with us. I could not find the moon in the sky a few nights back.
Do you know why that happens? The moon keeps on changing its shape because of its revolution around the earth. The different shapes of the moon are called the phases of the moon.
Phases of the moon?
Yes, the revolution of the moon around the earth makes the moon appear as if it is changing shape in the sky. From the earth, we see the moon grow from a thin crescent to a full disk and then shrink back to a thin crescent again before vanishing for a few days. Let us wear our astronaut suits and go to the sky to understand the different phases of the moon.
Oh wow! I am so excited!
And don't forget to wear your goggles. They will protect your eyes from the ultraviolet rays of the sun.
Oh, the view is so wonderful!
Now you can see that the different phases of the moon are produced because of the alignment of the sun, moon and the earth.
I have learnt on MakeMeGenius.com that the moon shines by reflecting light of the sun.
That is in fact true, and you are really a genius. The moon shines because it reflects the light from the sun. The part of the moon facing the sun is always lit up, and the part facing away from the sun is in darkness.
So, it is like a torchlight falling on one side of a soccer ball, right?
Yes, you are correct.
So we can say that the lunar phase is the amount of moon we can see from the earth, depending upon how much it is lit up by the sun.
And this amount changes every day.
Yeah, the phases of the moon depends on the moon's position in relation to the earth and the sun.
Wow, you are right. As the moon makes its way around the earth, we see the bright parts of the moon's surface at different angles. These are called
Phases of the moon. I was wondering how many phases of the moon are there and what are they called? They are called phases of the moon.
Yes, and the phases are named after how much of the moon we can see and whether the amount visible is increasing or decreasing each day.
What are the names of these phases?
They are new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full, waning gibbous, last quarter and waning crescent.
Oh, I'm confused. Can you repeat it?
Why not? Let us have a look again and understand it. No problem. Now look carefully. Phase 1 is called the new moon. In this phase, we cannot see any part of the illuminated half of the moon. Phase 2 is called the waxing crescent. Waxing means that the moon is going from a smaller size to a larger size. And crescent means that it is between new moon and half moon. It looks like a sickle, like when you take a bite out of a cookie. Phase 3 is called the first quarter. In this phase, the moon appears half lit to us. Phase 4 is the waxing gibbous moon. In this phase, the moon appears more than half lit. The moon shows a hump. Phase 5 is the full moon. beautiful and poetic. Phase 6 is the waning gibbous moon. The moon is waning, that is decreasing, going from full moon to quarter moon. Phase 7 is the last quarter. The moon appears half lit again. Phase 8 is the waning crescent moon. This is the last phase before the next new moon.
Now the phases of the moon are very clear to me. How many days does the moon take to complete the cycle?
The moon takes about 29.5 days to complete.
Morning, dear students. How are you all? Dear students, we are going to talk about the phases of moon. आप लोगों को पता है कि जो moon होता है, it rotates around its own axis and it is orbiting the earth because it is a satellite of the earth. And the period of rotation and revolution of moon are almost the same. You know, it takes around 29.5 days to complete one rotation or revolution around the earth. When the moon orbits around the earth, different sizes of moon appear according to the light coming from the sun. आपको इतना भी पता है कि मून की कोई खुद की लाइट नहीं होती है. मून किसकी लाइट से शाइन करता है? It shines only due to the light of the sun. So बच्चे, you should be saying when the moon is orbiting around the earth, तो इसकी जो लाइट होती है ना, it keeps on differing, you know. Is that clear? So that is why हमारे को different shapes of the moon every day we come to see. Just when the month is starting, right? Try to observe the shape of the moon. Until the end of the month, you will see that there are different shapes of the moon every day. Some days till 14 days you feel the moon is growing. Then after 14 days you will see that the moon is decreasing in size, right? So bache, these different shapes lead to the phases of moon. You know, on day 1, the side of the moon facing the earth is away from the sun. So it receives no light from the sun and it cannot be seen from the earth. And we call it new moon. New moon means Amavasya. You are not able to see the moon at all because the light of the sun is not there. You know, this is a new moon. New moon means that it is Amavasya. On that day, the moon, the side that is facing the earth is away from the sun. So it is not getting any light. But on day 3, slight amount of light is received by the moon from the sun. So we can see a thin portion of the moon and it is called the crescent moon. Which moon? Crescent moon. Now dear students, in the same manner, if we see day 7 we observe a half moon. Then on day 10 we observe a gibbous moon. Then that is a 3/4 of a moon. And finally, when the moon receives the complete light from the sun, then at that time we see the perfectly round moon and it is called the full moon. You should remember the time between the two full moons is about 29.5 days. Yes, full moon is known as Purnima. What do you call it? Purnima. Now dear students, let's see some of the phases are being expressed here. So we can see right from the new moon on position 1 till you could see the moon in the increasing mode, then again the moon in the decreasing mode, right? So when the moon is increasing, we call it waxing, and when the moon is decreasing in size, we call it waning. So let's see, this is a new moon. The moon's not illuminated side is facing the earth and the moon is not visible. Then the waxing crescent, when the moon starts growing. It is the moon appears to be partly but less than 1/2 illuminated by the direct sunlight. Remember, in the waxing crescent, the moon is increasing. Then we have the first quarter. 1/2 of the moon appears to be illuminated by the direct sunlight. And remember, the fraction of moon's disk that is illuminated is increasing here. Now we have waxing gibbous. This is 3/4 of the moon, more than half. More than half of the moon is illuminated by the sun's direct sunlight, dear students. Now after this we have the waning position, because after the gibbous we have the full moon, and after the full moon the moon starts decreasing in size. पूर्णिमा के बाद नेक्स्ट 14 डेज के लिए मून का जो साइज होता है बच्चे वो डिक्रीज होना शुरू हो जाता है. सो द मून अपेयर्स टू बी मोर देन 1/2 बट नॉट फुली इल्यूमिनेटेड बाय द सनलाइट. एंड यू शुड रिमेंबर यहाँ पर जो मून का साइज है इट इज डिक्रीजिंग नाउ. Whenever waning word comes, it means it is decreasing. Similarly, बच्चे, this means waxing, right is illuminated, and waning, this means it is not illuminated, only the left portion is illuminated. So in the waning side हमारे को सिर्फ थोड़ा सा सेक्शन होता है जो मून का illuminated होता है, so it keeps on decreasing. Is that clear? And in waxing the size of the moon goes on increasing.